Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this amazing episode of Prep and Thrive Radio. This time we are changing the style and the format. We are going to give you real live feed so you can see our faces, our reactions, and how happy we are to give you today's episode. Well, today I have with me another special guest who is going to be a reoccurring face on this episode. So stay glued and tuned to meet her. Before I get into my story, well, she will make a brief introduction and then from there we get into the story. So please introduce yourself to your new audience and then let's go from there.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jeffrey. It's always great to work on podcasts with you. Any media, new activities Jeffrey has, I'm always up for it. My name is Minna, and I'm 21 years old. I am actually Jeffrey's classmate, and we are always on the same flow, on the same vibe. Anytime anyone puts us on a media task, we just understand each other.
Yeah, and we happily do it. So today, the whole idea of this podcast is I normally do get bored. For example, if you're going for a long walk or a long drive or you are preparing your dinner or you are cleaning home, people normally get bored. So I thought for me, I would always enjoy a podcast that I did, that are talking about stories that I cannot go and read, but somebody will just sit down, accumulate it, and tell me about it. So if this is what I want, I decided to give my viewers a taste of what I want. So today we are going to share some stories, and then we are going to react to them, and then we are going to read some comments, and then share with our viewers. That sounds good?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to start. Have you heard about bus 375 in China? Have you heard a story about this bus?
No, this is new to me.
Okay. Well, during the time I was living in China, this was one of the stories my bosses had to tell me in order to scare me so I don't go out at night because she realized that I normally love staying out late at night. So she called me one day and she told me a real story in the streets of China. And today I want to share with our viewers. So I'll quickly read it. So it was the night of 14th November 1995, and that was the same year I was born, in a way. And in Beijing, there was this bus number 375, prepared to depart from the Yuan bus terminal, and it was heading towards the city center of Beijing, and that was the last bus of the night. So on the bus, there was an elderly woman and a young man, both wearing from their day's endeavors. So they were looking very tired because it was the last bus. They've had a long day at work. They are going home. And normally on the last bus, your idea and your plan is to get on the bus and sleep because you're very tired. So you just get on the bus, sleep, and you don't really care what is going to happen. It's actually happens to me most of the time when I take the last bus from Nikkei to yeah, I just sleep. So they did the same. So as the bus navigated through the city, going to bus stops, the driver saw two figures. Listen, not two humans, two figures. That is the term that was used. He saw two figures, but they looked like humans. And according to the old woman on the bus, she couldn't see their feet. So she could see that there's are two men standing, like were standing
Goodness.
ahead, but she could not see their feet. And when she tried to tell the young man thought, "Oh, you this old people, you always have some assumptions in your mind." And she was trying to give the driver the caution that not to pick them up, but the driver is like, "This is the last bus. If I don't pick them up, how are they going to go home?" So before the traffic light, the driver decided to stop and then they hopped in. So they came and they went back seat. And the woman already suspecting that they are not humans, she kept looking back and then confirming that aside the fact that they had no feet, they had no face.
Oh
So they
my
were in this
God.
hood. Yeah, and This story, after I heard it, I actually Googled it. I did more research about it. There has been a lot of videos about this story, and it actually turned out to be a true story. So, after my boss told me, I did myself the due diligence to find out if it's true or if she was just trying to scare me. And in China, this is one of the biggest stories
Oh,
that
wow.
actually occurred. So, yeah, it's a true story. You can find out. So, back to the story. They are on the bus. Now the woman is really suspecting that these people on the buses are not humans because she can see their feet and now she cannot see their face. She kept trying to create the attention and nobody was listening to her. So imagine you're on the bus and there is one woman who is saying some people are ghosts. Of course, everybody's going to ignore her.
Yeah.
So she really tried and then convinced the driver, and then the driver let her off the bus somewhere in the middle of the road. So she went to the nearest police station, reported the case, and of course, the police also didn't really look into it because they thought she was lying. Fast forward, the next morning, she went and opened the news, and there was the bus somewhere in one of Beijing's biggest lakes, drowned, with every passenger on the bus dead.
No way.
Yes. So once, while she was seeing the news, the police came to her house again. That, well, yesterday you came reporting, and she was like, "Yes, I told you guys that this was what was happening, but you guys ignored." And when I was reading this story, there are some few comments that I saw, and that is actually very funny and interesting, and I would like to share. So just that. After that, Mena is gonna tell us what stories she has for us, and I'm really eager to listen to the story. In order to keep the viewers in suspense, we would dive into your story. This was just an introduction warm up to
Yeah.
let them know. So before I get into my comments, let me know what you have. What is the stories you have arranged? What is something that you saw on social media that you think you have to share with me and my viewers? You have the floor.
So, I am extremely active online. I think if you check my screen time, you will be shocked. You will think I'm addicted to my phone, which is probably true.
Mm,
But this also means that I really keep up with the recent trends and topics. And recently, there's been a series. It's on many platforms, but mostly Netflix. It's called Adolescence,
okay.
and it is a very unique four limited series, 4 episode series, and it speaks on the fact that the plot is about a boy who's 13.
Mm,
He was arrested and went to a juvenile because he murdered his classmate, a girl. And they basically look at it from the point of view of how the boy is so like consistently saying he didn't do it, right?
okay.
Even though we have evidence and footage in the series that he did murder her. And you as an audience sort of get shocked because you think, this is a 13-year-old boy, right?
Yeah.
How can there be so much evil in him at such a young age? And the series actually talks about sort of a real life reference.
Mm,
How much there are these podcasts actually on topic. Podcast influencers, they speak directly to young boys and encourage them that they have sort of more power over women, but in an aggressive sense, right? And they really encourage them that abuse is necessary if the other woman does not agree with you, right?
wait, state that again. Abuse is necessary if the other woman doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, it's said many times by many podcast male figures who they really encourage the idea of aggressively and toxically empowering young boys. And this series delved into the consequences of what would happen if parents don't monitor their young children's phones, right, and what they watch. And this opened a whole conversation online because they genuinely felt like this can't be based on a true story. And then came with it a flood of news articles of young boys committing really cruel crimes, uh, even being at the young age of 10 years old, doing things like uh, assault,
Mm.
physical or sexual assault. And it's very sad to see, tragic to see. And yeah, so it's been really a trending
And
topic.
all from these boys are doing these things all from watching these kind of podcasts.
The thing is, that is what people are insinuating, right? Because recently they have been, these young boys sometimes would reference their male figure podcasts when
Mm.
speaking about the topic, or when speaking about women. They would say it's normal because this and this said so.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I won't dispute the fact that lately there is a lot of gender hate podcast,
Yeah.
but mostly with the men podcast hating women. There is much more of men podcasts promoting hate and how they think younger men should treat. What do you think about these kind of podcasts when you see them? And I don't understand how they even get women because most of the time
Yeah.
they have women on the table
Yeah.
who are actually accepting that they are okay to be belittled. What do you think about these podcasts when you see them?
I think that it shows a lot of insecurity from the influencer itself, right? So there is no need of to prove yourself, right? In the
Mm,
end of the day, if a young boy or a man is interested in a woman, you can just be honest with her and just be truthful. There's no need for it to get to an aggressive level. And promoting such a thing just shows that you are you're mentally so weak and emotionally weak. I always think there's something behind that, some sort
mm.
of childhood incident that occurred, and they don't really understand the power of their words.
So you think that most of the hosts are probably some men who have been treated in a certain way, and from that now they are podcast hosts, and then their only and sole mission is to speak about this one thing that couldn't work for them.
Yeah.
Because I think that if all these men probably if they were still in their relationship or if they were still in their marriages and happy, they wouldn't be on that podcast table in the first place to speak very ill about women. But what do
Yeah.
you think all these gender wars are coming from? Because the gender war is very huge now. On social media, men hate women, women hate men. Like, it's the biggest war. I always say, forget, no, don't forget about Russia and Ukrainian war, but the biggest war, I think World War III, is men against women on social media. Do you think there is a gender war?
Yes, so to speak. I wouldn't compare it to world wars, but yes, I think it really comes from the fact that a lot of people want to change old traditions and old ways of doing things,
Mm,
because it's very publicly known that in the past women have gone through things um, sort of silently, whether it's in marriage or even like from their male figures in their life, their fathers, their
others.
grandfathers, right?
Mm,
So it's a matter of really wanting to change that and show that actually I am more useful to you in an aspect of I can work with you and I can help you. And actually at many people now know that there's a lot of women in power. So it's all about how you educate yourself. It's not whether or not you're female or male.
mm.
And I feel like that competition, it will never end.
Yeah, and I think that this gender war is also only centered around relationship. Like, the war is not about who wants to be a pilot or who wants to be a leader or who wants to be an engineer or a creator. This gender war is about relationship. Who has to pay the bills? Who has to cook the food? Who has to wash the dishes? Like I am always looking forward for the gender war to expand. Let's bring it outside of relationship. Let's take it into our corporate lives. Do you think it's going to get there, or do you think it's only going to be centered around relationship? Because that is where it is fun to fight about.
It's there is already issues with the corporate world and gender. I think it's not as popular because, like you said, it's more entertaining to speak on relationships, and it's also something that we all have. There's a lot of people who don't have jobs, so they can't really speak on that, right? And no offense, by the way. I'm
That was
also
a straight bullet.
yeah, I'm also unemployed. It's okay. Uh, but yeah, so relationships is something that we have since the day we're born. Our relationship with our fathers, our siblings, right? I doubt that it will become more trending to speak on the corporate world with genders simply because of how trendy relationships are.
Yeah, relationships are now more of a trend than, you know, I didn't even actually believe that we will end up talking about relationship because the things that we like to talk about, relationship is not part of it. But I guess the conversation has entered there, so we might as well continue with it. Yeah. So what was I saying? So I was saying that since we're talking about relationships, so we'll just carry on. And apart from that, do you have anything before we close the chapter or before we enter more into relationship? Do you have the next available story you want to talk about?
I think it's going in a right flow right now. I kind of expected we're gonna speak about relationships. It makes its way into conversation every time, just because it's a big part of us. So I think we can get into it.
So talking about relationship, I think the world also is viewing relationship mostly from the view of the American society. Right now, last time I was having a conversation with some of the guys, and the description of a woman they were given perfectly fitted only an American woman. And I'm like, which kind of women are you meeting? Because American women are not the only women in the world. There are other women like in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, and you are describing all women as if they were American women.
Yeah.
So do you think that relationship is mostly centered on American standards? That is where this toxic feminism is also coming. That is, you know, all this 50-50, a man must do this, you have to do it. It's all an American energy.
Yeah.
Do you side with me? Do you think it's an American energy that is coming?
I 100% side with you, and I know exactly why it happens. It's all because of our media. I promise you, our algorithm, I noticed that everything I'm getting is all American standards. I mean, even when they make humor about something, they mention a state in America as a reference, right?
Yeah.
Or a celebration in America as a reference, and you can't relate to it because you could be from a different culture and have different traditions. But if you grew up around American media, then you're going to follow their standards, which also includes like relationship standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why this video or podcast is not a shade to Americans. No, don't take it like that. We are just elaborating our points. So I saw another video of an Arab couple where the woman was in the kitchen and she was happy making the dinner, and in the comment section the people from Africa or from the Arab countries were like praising her act. And then it was very obvious if you see a comment from an American lady. Again, this is no shades, because they are living in a different world of society. They are living in a different world of relationships. So seeing things like that, they term it as slavery. Is that slavery, do you think?
No, it's even offensive to compare it to slavery, because
Yeah.
if you educate yourself, you will know that slavery was brutal, and there was no such thing as considering you a human being. So I think that people now use the term slavery very lightly.
Yeah.
You know, they just of course, if you are new to a tradition or it is something that doesn't fit your personal standard, you're going to shame on it or look at it like it's a domestic abuse, you know.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, cooking something that you get to eat too, that your children get to eat. I mean, how much is your husband going to eat when you cook the food?
Yeah.
He's not going to eat the whole portion. He's going to eat just a few portions. You eat two, your children will eat two, and you think that is slavery. All of this, like we were saying, is an American mindset.
I have a really good story for this that fits our topic. It's been trending a lot. There is this influencer. I think I can say her name because she's a public figure.
Okay, yeah.
Her name is Sarah Kim, and she lives in America, and she works 2 jobs, and at the moment she is pregnant. She recently got married, and her husband is not employed, and basically she did her routine not to shame her husband, just to speak on her life. And she stated she leaves early in the morning, she goes to her first work, comes home only for a bit, goes to her second work, and then she stated that when she gets back home, her husband, who is not employed, has not cleaned the house, has not cooked dinner, has not done any of the chores, and she would have to do that as well.
Ooh.
In that scenario, in that case, that is unfair on her, right? So when you look at it, it's not based on, oh, I am making my wife, she's the only one that cooks. It's just a matter of balance. You know, the husband is working all day. There is literally no time for that, even if he wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
But if the husband is home and the wife is employed, it would be a nice thing for him to take care of the home.
Yeah, at least do some cleaning, do some arrangement. Yeah, for this, the brotherhood is not proud of him. He can do better. First of all, I don't know why you would have to stay at home for your wife to work. Maybe because of circumstances. Maybe he's still applying and looking for jobs. But yeah, that's fine. But to stay home and do nothing, you can watch some YouTube tutorials and make some pasta and some macaroni for your wife next time. Try and do that. It will be very helpful. You saying that story made me dawn on this. Have you heard this controversy, cooking with Kaya?
No.
Yeah, there is another African American lady in America who likes to cook, and she likes to cook for her man. So she just does a video cooking all sort of delicious food, and the comment section is flooded with a lot of jealous, bitter women who do not understand why she's young and beautiful and all she does is cook for her man. Like, but I don't get it. What is wrong with it? Like, what is so wrong? There's nothing wrong. What? Like that. I don't like the fact that it looks like we are bombarding the American society, but most of this hate, most of this trend is coming from that society. How do you think it can be stopped? What do you think are some things that can help regulate this? Because we, of course, are not the ones controlling the algorithm.
Yeah.
So do you think we, on the other side of the world, should do more videos to counterattack that? How do you think this problem can be solved?
I think that everyone having the power to just comment their opinion anywhere, anytime, and they don't get any consequences for saying anything, I don't think that can be stopped.
Yeah.
So the only way you as a person would avoid, unfortunately, is to not be uploading about your daily life. Even they tell them that if you are a person who chose to share your real life and show your family, you should expect criticism no matter what. Even if it's great and balanced and equal, there will always be that bitter person who is commenting under your videos simply because their life may have some issues or because they just don't want to see you happy. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I was planning to go back into the real life narration, but since this episode has taken a toll in relationship, I will skip that one for our next episode. We'll go strictly into that. But before that, I had this story and I wanted to share with the viewers. And since we are in the relationship, listen. So she said, I will also need your reaction, so please pay attention. I'm
Yeah.
24, female, and he is 36, male. Wow.
Mm.
We have been in a relationship for about a year now. He have been dating for two. What does it mean? What does she mean by he have been dating for 2.5 years? But it took about 1.5 years before he agreed to be in a relationship. Due to that, he has problems with commitment. Wait, I don't understand this first line.
Maybe she means they had like a situationship before they dated. Is that what she means? Maybe.
Yeah, because she used he. Anyway, I'll
Yeah.
go into it. He had very much problems in previous relationship because he grows tired of his girlfriends and feels trapped. And now this had happened to me. He says that he really wants to be with me and to make things work, but he feels trapped again. He wants to get rid of these feelings because he wants a family with me. But the feeling of being trapped makes him feel the wrong feelings for me and that he is not in love with me anymore. He thinks if we start having I'll have to say this line again. So listen. But the feeling of being trapped makes him feel the wrong feelings for me and that he is not in love with me anymore. He thinks that if we start having threesomes or if
Whoa,
he is
whoa.
allowed to sleep with other girls, this
Whoa,
feeling
whoa.
will go away and he will feel happy in the relationship. What? This breaks my heart so much, but I'm so in love with him.
Oh
He is the
my
love of
God.
my life. Of that, I'm sure. I don't know how I would feel about the threesome since the image of him being with another girl makes me vomit.
Oh my God. What did I just hear?
I wanted to start with this generation, but she said that she is 24 and the man is 26, so this has nothing to do with Gen Z.
Yeah, he's 36, right?
36.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't believe she's so blinded with love that she doesn't see this as just he just wants to cheat. He just wants an excuse
To leave.
to leave.
Not even cheat, to leave. But let's go and hear some advices that people have for her. So here are the comments. He probably already cheats on her.
Yeah.
He's so manipulative and it's insane. Well, yeah, as a man, from a man's point of view, yeah, he just is with another woman. He is with another
Yes.
woman, and he just need a valid reason for himself and for this girl to part ways. Threesome. How do you have the courage to tell your woman this? Do you have a dead wish?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he's using you and trying to take advantage of the feelings he knows you have for him. Well, he's manipulating you. So yeah, of course, the comment section is not disappointed. And there is somebody who actually took this the other way, took it very emotional, and had a very long thing to say. Firstly, threesomes do not solve relationship problems. Hell yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Do not be manipulated into this. He's an, I can't say this word, who wants to excuse to get his, I also can't say this word. He's asking you permission to cheat, and because you potentially have attachment issues, you break your own heart and let him to make him happy. You need to find your backbone. Yes, so I think
Yes.
this lady is also very attached to her man, and the fact that she has brought this on social media to get people's opinion is also because she's actually thinking about it. She's thinking whether to, and this story is just like 2 days ago. This lady posted it 2 days ago. So I was reading it this morning, and it was
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, it's so ironic because she came on here saying that he feels trapped, but actually
Feels
he
trapped.
put her in a situation where he's making her feel trapped. She's trapped between her feelings for him and what is right for herself, right?
She's even more trapped than.
Than him. He's not even trapped. He's fully open, you know? For him to have the courage to say like I want such a thing, it just shows that he has so much freedom in opinion, and also he does not feel attached to her
Anymore.
emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last comment on this post is the guy's friend. So the guy's friend saw this post and he knew that this is my friend's girlfriend. And this is the advice he wrote under the post. He said, LOL, drop this old man. No wonder he's dating someone that's much younger. Wow, that's shades. If he has commitment issues, he should have never started a relationship. And really, you should not have expected much from him. It's unfair of him to ask you to stick around while he finds other partners. He is 36. He will not get sick of the threesomes. He will continue to have commitment issues, and you will always feel lonely. Text him now and say it's over. After that, block him and find someone that's not a total waste of time. And this is the man's friend.
He's he's either a really honest, good man, or he's into her.
Or he's just
It's
tired of
him.
his friend's behavior. I think he
Yeah.
has been telling his friend a long time that, you know what, stop doing this. And finally, he had the opportunity to tell the girl.
Yeah, and
So he
it's
took it.
really-
Yeah. And the girl responded. She said, "Thank you for your honesty. He doesn't really ask me to stick around. He says that he understands what he's asking for, and that if I don't agree, I can leave." Listen, little girl, this man doesn't like you anymore. So just do yourself an advice and then leave.
Yes, please.
Well, yeah, I think the conversation is getting very interesting. Do you have anything else for us? Well, I am still in because I actually prepared some stories, but based on where the conversation has dived into, I am
Yeah.
filtering them. Just some of them will be irrelevant on the show. I will keep them up coming on our next episodes. So, if you have anything to add, anything to say, if not, I have more of the relationships that we can go.
I think I just wanted to make a comment on this story specifically
Okay.
because it's, you know, the term like gaslighting. It's been very sort of when it's used online, a lot of particularly men, they would sort of respond to it like in a frustration or sigh, like not everything is gaslighting, which is true. But in this situation, it's the perfect term for it. He fully convinced her that this is something that is sort of healing for him. You know, he is like a trapped, innocent victim in
Yeah.
this like mental battle with himself, and the only thing to fix it is another woman.
Yeah.
And I really hope she gets out of this relationship and she will start laughing just at all the
Yeah.
things he said in the past. It's very funny.
And I think to him, asking her for threesome, to him, he thinks he's being honest enough.
Yeah.
After all, I'm bringing the third woman together. So to his foolish mind, he thinks that, oh, I'm actually doing better. I'm not going to do it outside secretly alone. I'm bringing her home.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to do better. If we expect them to do better, we also have to do better. And talking into that, there is another interesting one. But I was actually looking for one with a younger age. So next time, I would speak with my production group to give me younger stories. But these ones will also teach us some lessons that we need to know. I am 46 male. Well, a man is now asking for help. Okay, no. My 46 male partner. So women are always going somewhere to look for help. My 46 male partner can't commit to having a baby with me, 38 female, after 6 years. Am I wasting my time? Well, we can't really tell. Let's see. I am 38 female, being with my partner 46 male for almost 6 years. We aren't married, but we own a house together. Our mortgage is quite big, and I regret moving here as it's only added to his argument that we are not ready to have a baby financially. We are not ready to have a baby financially. Okay, I mean, I have endometriosis, I guess is some disease. So my chances of getting pregnant now are really on the low side. I've been trying to convince him for years, but we just keep ending up back where we started. I thought that we had made progress and we are on a similar page, but here we are again. Am I wasting my time trying to go and find someone new and start again? Also feels so hard and unlikely, but I'm not willing to give up the fight. This is not really
Mm,
tough, but very, very complicated
yeah.
situation.
So in this case, I mean, there it's not really, as they say it, like a red flag, really, because it's a personal choice, and also it's a whole mental and emotional battle with
Hmm.
yourself. You need to be ready for a baby, because a lot of people, I think they have in their mind, okay, this is a baby, I'm gonna just raise them, and then when they reach, let's say, the age of 16, 17, they're
Hmm.
no longer mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is so unrealistic, because this is a person in your life that's gonna always be a part of your life. You're gonna take care of their studies. You're gonna take care of them if, in case they have troubles with work, in their marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
you cannot really force. She didn't really force him, but you cannot blame him if he's
You
not
know, ready.
ready to
Yeah.
have a child, even if he is at the age of 40 or 50. I mean, at that age, you
And
know.
in most cases, it is the other way around. It's the man who mostly like will want a kid, and the woman will be
Mm-hmm.
like. So I don't really know why what his problem could be, or maybe he has a disease that he's trying to hide from the wife and cannot be
Yeah.
very confident to be open about it. And I think my production team is very fast. They just got my feedback and they gave us a final and last story, which is of younger people. So I see a 19 and 20-year-old, yes, which is
Mm.
which is much likely in my target audience age range. So I will only take your comment on this, and after that we can close today's section.
Okay.
The next episode we have more to come, but this is an interesting one. So I, female 19, don't honestly know what to do after what my boyfriend, male 20, said. What do y'all think? So, I really like the tongue piercing and wanted it since I was 14 or so. And now that no one of my family member can say anything about what I do, go big girl. You just turned 19 and you think nobody can say anything to you? Just turn 19. Okay, so I was excited about it, so I told my boyfriend, and he started saying it's ugly. That if I get it, he won't kiss me because I don't know what to do. I mean, he was trying to say he can't kiss her with a metal board in
Mm-hmm.
his mouth. And he said literally that it disgusts him. When I tried to talk to him, he just said he won't change his mind about that. Now I'm not sure if I should get it. I'm pretty much insecure, and knowing it could make me uglier in my boyfriend's eyes, I get kind of anxious of him finding someone he may like better or stay with me, but thinking I'm ugly and disgust him.
Mm.
We all have issues, and people are fighting about childbirth, people are fighting about
Employment,
employment and threesomes, and this relationship is fighting about tongue piercing.
tongue
What are your
piercings.
thoughts?
Okay, So it's normal for everyone to have a preference on things, but in this scenario, I I really disagree with the way that he said it to her. Like, it's okay for you to not like the tongue piercing idea, but there are ways you can speak to your woman. This is someone that you love or you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
You can't just throw the word disgusting and ugly to someone you love. You can really say it in a gentle way and say to her, actually, I don't think it would suit you, it might hurt. He can take it from any angle
Any nice
that could
angle.
convince her that maybe this is not a good idea. He can even speak about the fact that it can cause an infection,
Yeah.
right? So, but he took it in a way of like a materialistic way, like objective way, and of course that's gonna cause problems in the relationship where she feels, oh, like I always have to fit into his standard or else I am disgusting, you know. So yeah, in this case, I would advise that she tells him to respect her, to be in a position where she tells him, it's okay if you don't agree, but you cannot use words like that with me,
yeah.
right?
And what do you think she should do? Because obviously, if it's going to be other women of her age in this current generation giving her advice on what to do, I'm sure 90% of the advice will be forget about your boyfriend and go and do what you like. But what would you advise? Should she go for this tongue piercing, or she should forget about it because her boyfriend doesn't like it? And she's 19 years old,
Yeah.
by the way. Remember that.
Yeah, of course, this is a very young relationship, so it's normal they have such arguments. I think that in this case, she should first have a conversation with him, tell him, like I said, be honest and say, you need to respect me, and then let him know, this is something that I really want, so I will go through with it. So I advise her not to get it out of spite, not to get it and then be like, I got it, I don't care what you think, because this is a relationship.
Yeah.
You want to keep this relationship and strengthen it. They can definitely learn from this. I don't think it's gonna break them.
Yeah, I
But,
think there can be a
yeah.
way around it. So yeah, we can really tell you because you already said that you were at a point of your age where nobody can tell you what to do. So I think you got this. So yeah, I think today's episode will be a wrap, and it was very nice. And
Yeah.
it is the beginning of this episode, so I'm actually going to name it episode 1. So this is the birth of this vibe, this type of videos. So there is more to come. We were just testing our surroundings, our conversations,
Yeah.
the camera, and everything. Definitely, you probably must have enjoyed it. If you did, I am going to encourage you to subscribe, write a comment, give us ideas and suggestions on what videos you want us to make next time. I'm going to leave Mena's socials, also your Instagram or something.
Yeah.
So if you think she's cool and you want to follow her, you can check her out. Mine is also going to be there as well. Any last comments, last words for our viewers before we say adios?
I really enjoy talking with Jeffrey about all of these topics that I feel most of us can relate to, and I am very excited to see what he's gonna do in the future. And of course, I hope that I'm able to join you guys again with fresh new topics, and just hope you guys will be regulars with us. You know.
Yeah. So it was a nice episode. Like you already know, your favorite and the best podcast host to ever come on your screens. Don't forget to like, write a comment, and subscribe. Until our next episode. See you. Bye. We had like good 45 minutes.
Yes, you are right.